Hello and welcome back, everybody. You are listening to the Introverted Nerd Watches. I'm your host, Reese, and it's Wednesday. So you know it's time for another episode of Saved by the Bell. And today is all about Season 3, Episode 16, From Nurse to Worse. And Zach is the absolute worst. So before we get into all of that stuff, let me tell you that you should subscribe to the podcast, rate and review. I'm available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, everywhere. So give me a 5-star review. I'll read it on the next episode, or just give me any review. I'll accept it. If it's not a 5-star review, I won't read it on the podcast, but I will accept, whatever you give me. And you should follow me all over social media. I've been really active lately for some reason. I don't know why. I've just been feeling it. On Twitter, I'm at TINerdPod. On Instagram, I'm at TheIntrovertedNerd, and like the Facebook page at facebook.com/TheIntrovertedNerd, and we can get into Saved by the Bell and Black Lightning and all the stuff that I love, because I'm reading a ton of comic books right now, so I want to talk about all that shit. So just hook up with me everywhere and we'll talk about all of it. So let's get into From Nurse to Worse, because let me see. I'm going to tell you what I remembered about this episode. I remembered that Zach fell in love with the school nurse. I didn't remember how shitty he was to Kelly when he fell in love with the school nurse. I remember the school nurse looking really old to me, and I couldn't understand why Zach was into her. I still feel that way. My feeling about that is even stronger now than it was when I first saw this episode of when I was a kid. And that's basically all and I remembered the Jessie blind little subplot that's going on, like Jessie having thinking that she has bad sight. So I remembered that, but I didn't really remember anything else about it. So watching this episode, I was like, wait, what the hell is going on here? I don't know why it didn't register to me as a kid that Zach was like really seriously trying to get with this adult woman. I don't know why. It just didn't register with me when I was younger, when I used to watch this as a kid, when I was in, junior high and high school. Because I've never had a situation like that. I've never known anybody that was like really seriously trying to attract a teacher. These kids are crazy. Like, Lisa was into that lieutenant, the ROTC guy, and he was like an old man. Well, he wasn't an old man, but he was like way too old for her, and she was like catcalling him and doing shit like that. So it's like really crazy that these 15 or 16-year-olds who are like really young are coming at these adults, and like it's nuts to me, because I've never seen anything like that. So let's just get into this from right off top. So Zach and Jessie, that's later. Zach and Kelly go out on a date, and Kelly is wearing the weirdest dress that I have ever seen in my life. So I'm being a little bit dramatic, but let me tell you about this dress. So it's a denim dress, and it looks really cute from the side. It's just like, it looks like a regular old denim dress. And I'm like, okay, whatever, Kelly. But when she turns around, when you see the front of the dress is like open, and it looks like that it's zipped down, like down her chest. But you can't see a zipper. So it's just like made to be open like that. Like the front of her dress is open. So like her bra is hanging out, but she's not wearing a bra. It looks like a bathing suit she's wearing. It just looked really weird. And I'm like, why is she wearing why is the front of her dress open, and why is she wearing a bathing suit on her date? Because it doesn't look like they went to the beach. I mean, Zach is wearing his khakis and a sweatshirt. So they didn't go to the beach. She's dressed really weirdly, and I didn't get it. I mean, she looks cute. Like, Kelly usually looks cute. I'm not going to say always, but she usually looks, she's a cute girl. This dress was not, it was just weird to me, and I couldn't focus on anything else. I was like, damn, what the fuck did she get that dress from? Whatever. That's not even the important part. The important part is that Zach asks Kelly to go steady. And Kelly is like, let me think about that, Zach. And I'm like, in the last episode, Kelly makes a comment to her entire class that kissing Zach was the greatest thing that ever happened to her. The first time she kissed Zach was the greatest thing that ever happened to her. And in this episode, your girl comes back, and Zach is like, I'm ready to put it all down for you, Kelly. I'm ready to get rid of all these other girls that are obviously interested in me. And she's like, nah, I'm not feeling it right now, Zach. Let me think about it overnight. And it's like, I mean, okay. I mean, she's Kelly Kapowski. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. But I'm just like, why don't you hold Zach down? Because you're going to see in the rest of this episode that Zach's eye wanders very fast. So you got to, when you catch him, when you hook him, you got to reel him in real quick, because he is not he's not the steady type. So they go to school the next day, and the backdrop of all of this is that it's time for the school physical, which for me was really weird, because the school physicals, I remember the school physical thing. It's where you used to go to school, and this only happened when I was in grade school, and it stopped when I was in around the third grade, or maybe even the second grade. It stopped when I was really young. You used to go to school, and you would have the school nurse would do your eye test, a hearing test, and you would get like a flu shot or a booster shot or something like that. You would get a shot, or a TB shot, where you had to test you for the 4 bumps that you're supposed to get on your arm to see if you have like TB. So we used to get that in school. I remember that. They're in high school though. So it was kind of weird to me that these kids that go to like a rich school, like I went to public school in Philadelphia. I don't know that the public schools around here are like super poor, but we're certainly not a school in like Beverly Hills or something with a bunch of rich kids. So I don't understand why these rich high schoolers are doing like physicals in school. They have all their parents are rich. I'm sure they all have medical insurance. Why are they all doing this? Like, what the fuck is going on over there in Bayside? It's craziness. So when Zach gets to school the next day, he's distracted, and he's like, wait, he walks up to his friends, to Lisa, Jesse, and Slater, and he tells them, I asked Kelly. And he says it just like that. Hey, I asked Kelly. And they're all smiling. And Lisa's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I have to tell the whole school. And it's like, he asked her to go steady. He did not propose marriage. It's like, calm yourself down, Lisa. But they all act like Zach proposed. And it's like, and even like later in the episode when Screech is talking to Kelly, he thinks of it like, oh my God, this is like the proposal. It's it's like the wedding of the century is coming up, and it's like, what? He asked her to be his girlfriend, y'all. Calm down. And so Lisa goes to spread the word. Jesse and Slater are talking to Zach about it, and Slater's doing his usual Slater thing, but he's not the jealous dude anymore, which is nice because we can get over that, the whole jealous Slater thing, competing for Kelly. She has made her choice. Even if she didn't want to be Zach's girlfriend, she was not trying to get with Slater. So calm down, Slater, and be with Jesse, because they've been kind of, I guess, kind of cute. I will say they've been really flirty the last couple of episodes. So it's kind of official, right, that they're together. They didn't have the big go steady moment like Zach and Kelly are getting, but they're together because they have their little fighting moments where Slater says something kind of sexist and Jesse gets back at him. But he makes a lot of comments about how he's a good kisser and how she's not complaining when he's kissing her and all that. So they make a lot of those comments. So I'm guessing that they're like happily arguing and dysfunctional together. So yay them. So the bell rings and Zach gets left in the hallway by himself, and he's at his locker. And this woman walks down the hall, and she's an attractive woman, but she did not warrant what happened. So she walks down the hall. She asks Zach if he knows where the nurse's office is, and he turns around and it's like song from the heavens. It's like, ah, and she has like stars around her, and he's seeing the stars around her, and he's like so blown away by her beauty. And I'm like underwhelmed, like, really, my guy? This is who you want? I mean, this woman is, I'm gonna say a lot of mean things about this woman, but I'm gonna try to be respectful. I'm gonna try. So Zach is like, oh my God, I'm in love. And he actually says, I'm in love. He was in love with Kelly the night before. He was in love with Kelly 2 seconds before he turned around and saw this woman. And suddenly he sees this old woman and he's like, oh my God, the love of my life has just walked into Bayside. And dude can't put together a sentence. He's like stroking out. He can't, he's saying words the wrong way, and she's asking questions, and he's so like unintelligible that he can't speak. So she's like, oh, that's really cute. And she's just like, okay, I'll find the nurse's office by myself. And he finally puts himself together enough to tell her to ask her name. She tells him her name's Jennifer. And he points her to the nurse's office. And he's like, dude is just, he's just really enthralled. And she calls him cute. And he tells her, his name. And it's a meet cute, I guess, if one person knows it, if one person is in love and the other person is like, I just want to go to the nurse's office. But Zach is talking to her. He asks her if she's new here. Like, are you a new student? That's how it came off to me. Like, he's asking her if she's a new student. And I'm like, somebody needs to check Zach's eyes. That needs to be the first test he gets during the school physical, because this woman that we see, she does not look like a teenager. Not even, I mean, she might be a Beverly Hills 90210 type teenager. I mean, even that is pushing it. She is no teenager in any space that I have ever seen. Like, she's an okay looking, she's a good looking woman. I will say that she's good looking, but you guys know that I like Kelly, but she's not even my favorite. But Kelly is so like Kelly's a 10. This woman is a 6 maybe. If I thought Kelly was a 10, we're going to say Kelly is a 10. This woman is maybe a 6. She's an attractive woman, but she's not on Kelly's level. I will say that. She is just not on Kelly Kapowski's level. She cannot hold water for Kelly Kapowski. I will say that. And she has a weird mouth. I mean, and that's just me personally. I'm like, I don't like her mouth. And I'm talking about like she smiles and there's something weird about her teeth or something. I don't know. She's not on Kelly's level, and which makes it really, I'm side-eyeing Zach and his taste when he's all like hard for this woman. And I'm like, dude, you can do better. You have done better. So stop it. I'm getting really mad at him, like just thinking about it. It's so stupid. So, Zach's in love, and it makes things uncomfortable because he found the love of his life, but he already asked Kelly to be his girlfriend. And he doesn't even try to like call things off with Kelly first. He goes straight into, oh my God, I gotta get with this woman, this older woman. Like, I gotta get with this woman that could be Kelly's mom, because I really only have one type, who is like a woman with brown hair, a white woman with brown hair, brown eyes. Oh no, does Kelly have brown eyes? I think Tiffany Thiessen has blue eyes. Whatever. That's not even important. So, the other thing that's happening is Kelly has decided that, she needed the 8 hours she took to decide whether she wanted to be Zach's girlfriend. And she has decided, yes, she would like to be his girlfriend. And my girl is really like, she seems in love in this episode, because she is putting up with a lot of bullshit. So she reads a poem. Ooh, who's the teacher? The deaf teacher is back, or the hard of hearing teacher is back, and they all have her class, and they're reading poems. She's the English teacher, and everybody had to write their own poems for this class. And Lisa wrote about shopping or money or something. She wrote a poem about that. And Screech wrote a poem about some animal or whatever. It doesn't even matter. What matters is that Kelly wrote a love poem for Zach in this class. And she's, I don't remember what it said. It's really sweet. She's like looking at Zach while she's reading the poem. And Zach immediately gets up and is just like, he doesn't care. His only focus is trying to get to find the nurse woman. He doesn't know she's the nurse at this point, though. And he gets called to the nurse's office for his physical. And that's when he meets Jennifer, who's going to be the new school nurse. And he's like, oh my God, he's so happy to see her and so enthralled with her that, she's putting needles in his arm and he can't feel it. And like, she can't tell that he's into her, like really like crushing on her. She's just really oblivious. And, Zach can't feel the needle, and he's like smiling at her. He's looking at her with these googly eyes, and he's smiling, and it's really crazy. And she's just smiling back at him, and she just doesn't get it. And it's like, girl, stop. I mean, they're playing you like you're an attractive woman. Don't you get that this 16-year-old boy, like, can't you see his erection in his khakis when he's in the office? Like, it's weird. And so Slater also got called to the office to get his physical as well, and he's scared of needles. And so when Zach is no, that happens later. They when after all that is done, Zach is like trying to avoid Kelly. He she walks up to him in the hallway. He curves the shit out of her. So she walks up to him in the hallway, and she's with Screech, and she's telling Screech that she's going to say yes to Zach. And she walks up to him, and she's like, you know what, Zach? I've been looking for you all day. I finally decided, and the answer is yes. And Zach looks at her, and he's like, oh, that's cute, Kelly. What was the question? And he walks away, and he's like shaking his head like what Kelly did was like really weird. He's like, what is she doing? Like, it's so crazy. And Kelly is like scandalized. She can't believe that he would just walk away like that. Screech is like standing there, and so it's like double embarrassment to have, the loser Screech standing next to you when your should be boyfriend just walks away and ignores you. And it's like, oh shit, Zach. And he actually walks away like he really doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's so crazy. So Slater's scared of needles, and he's trying to get Lisa and Jesse to forge a note saying that he already got his flu shot, and that he doesn't need to get any needles during his physical. And they refuse to do it. We find out that Slater's mom's name is Loretta. So Loretta Slater is Major Slater. Major and Loretta Slater are his parents. What is his dad's first name? I keep calling that dude Major Slater, but he has a first name, right? His name is not Major. T.I. has a kid named Major, right? Whatever. Part of the stupid knowledge that I have. I don't know why I know the names of people's kids. Oh, and Loretta is what's her name? Carrie Bradshaw. Sarah Jessica Parker. Sarah Jessica Parker and Ferris Bueller have a kid whose name is Loretta. So stupid knowledge that I don't know why I have. I couldn't tell you shit about either one of them except their Ferris Bueller and Carrie Bradshaw, but I know their kid's name, Loretta. And the other kid, she's a twin. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Why do I know this? They're twins, Loretta and Tabitha. I don't know why. I don't know why I know that. So when Kelly comes in and she talks to Lisa and Jesse, and she's telling them how weird Zach is being, Jesse offers to go talk to Zach because he's her best friend. When it's convenient. They've known each other since the first grade. So she's offered to go talk to him. And when she does, she goes in through Zach's window because they brought that back. And Zach is in he's in a suit. He's trying on a tie, and it's a very 80s suit. He has the bottom of his suit rolled up like you would roll up a pair of jeans. And he's wearing he's wearing loafer. It's so weird. It's a blue suit too. It's so weird. It's this big, flowy, it almost looks like silk. It looks like something my grandmother would have worn when I was a kid. It's this flowy silk suit. It's so weird. So he's wearing that, and he's practicing saying Jennifer's name and, speaking to her because he can't speak to her when he's actually with her. So he's looking in the mirror. He's like, hey, Jennifer. Hey, Jen. And it's oh, God, dude, stop it. She's an adult. She's they're playing this like she's kind of young. So I'm going to say she's in her mid to late 20s, which she's not. That woman, it cannot be a day under 38. she's an old, she's not old, but she's not young enough for, this is silly. This is so crazy. I'm not, and he's so into her, but the craziest thing is that he thinks he has a chance with her. And I'm like, is that Zach Morris confidence? Or is that just, I don't know. That's just crazy levels of Zach Morris, like confidence, like swinging his dick around. Like, I'm Zach Morris, bitch. I got a cell phone. I can talk to anybody I want. I can get any girl I want. So whatever. So Jesse goes to talk to Zach, and he's telling her that he fell in love with the school with the new school nurse. And Jesse's like, Zach, that's gonna kill Kelly. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have to tell Kelly what's going on. And Zach is like, no, I'm a douchebag. So what I want to do is I want to be with both of them. And Jessie is supposed to be a smart young woman. She's supposed to be kind of intelligent. And she calls him a dog or a pig or something like that. Which, okay. But she doesn't say, Jennifer is an adult. How are you going to get with her, Zach? She doesn't say that. She just ignores the fact that this woman is an adult. She shouldn't be fucking around with Zach. And she just goes straight to, this will really hurt Kelly's feelings. And it's like, you failed, Jesse. Get out. Like, move on to the next person. Like, you failed. Go check your eyes, whatever you're doing. But Jessie is going to keep this secret because she promises Zach that she won't say anything to Kelly. She'll keep this to herself. So during all of this, Jessie goes to Nurse Butcher because that's the old nurse's name. Her name is Nurse Butcher because there's no subtlety here. And Nurse Butcher makes Jessie do the eye test. And Jessie, she tells Jessie that she got all of it wrong and she needs to wear glasses. And Jessie freaks the fuck out. Like, you would think that the nurse told her that she had some incurable disease because she is losing her mind over over having to wear glasses, which is like, okay, but why wouldn't she go home and talk to one of her rich parents and ask them to take her to an actual eye doctor? Because she goes around and she picks up like all of these dollar store glasses and she's trying on glasses and she's asking everybody, how she looks in the glasses. And it's like, girl, you can see, right? If you can go to the Max and read a fucking menu, you can see. So the nurse got something wrong. It's like, if you're not struggling to see anything, why are you walking around getting glasses? Why don't you tell your mother? Like, while your mother is taking you to the hospital to for your caffeine pill overdose or your caffeine pill addiction, why don't she take you to an eye doctor? So you'll know that you don't. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, she knows she doesn't need glasses. So why is she listening to the nurse? So that's all Jessie's thing. And it's stupid. So Zach, with his new suit on, goes to see, he fakes an illness and he has to go back to the nurse. And so while Jennifer is going to find a thermometer, because she thinks she's a bad nurse and she thinks Zach is having a bad reaction to his flu shot from the other day. And so when she goes out, Slater walks in and it's a whole thing. So there's the mix up. So Zach can have the mix up and he can confess what he's been doing. So, Slater is pretending to be Jennifer and Zach is like, he's too stupid or too horny to realize Jennifer, it's not Jennifer, it's Slater. And so Slater's like, I caught you, Zach. if you don't want me to tell Kelly that you're trying to get with the school nurse and that you're cheating on her, or you're, well, not really cheating because they're not together. I mean, yeah, they're not together yet. Zach is treating Kelly's yes like it's like he's being served. Like, as long as he avoids her and doesn't hear her say yes, he's like, it doesn't count. You have to put it in my hand. It doesn't count unless I see it. So he's avoiding her, and Slater makes Zach take his flu shot. And I'm thinking, is that can that make you sick? Is that like you can't just like constantly get flu shots or anything. That can, I don't know whether that can harm you. Like, I know flu shots on their own like don't usually harm people. Go out and get your flu shots, people. Don't be anti-vaxxers. So, but can you get like double flu shots? Will you be like, all right? I've never seen that. Anyway, but Slater doesn't care if Zach kills himself, because it's more important that Slater avoids this flu shot. So Slater, so while Zach takes his flu shot, Slater has also promised not to say anything. And Kelly is walking around. She doesn't know what to do. Jessie actually lies to Kelly and tells her that she doesn't, that there's nothing going on with Zach. And they basically gaslighting her, because they're all lying to her. Well, everybody except Lisa is lying to her. And so Zach has really, really dialed into this plan now. And he goes to Screech. Nobody should ever go to Screech for anything, but and this is his fuck up. So he goes to Screech, and he's trying to talk to Screech, and he's telling Screech that he doesn't want to break up. He doesn't want to lose Kelly, but he also wants to be with Jennifer. So he needs to find a distraction for Kelly so that she won't find somebody else while he's like pursuing the real love of his life. And Screech tells him that he has a chess teammate named Melvin Nerdley, because if you thought Saved by the Bell was going to try to be a little subtle, you were wrong, and you're paying for it now, because Melvin Nerdley is a thing. And so Screech is like, I'll get Melvin Nerdley to go out with Kelly. And it's like, does Kelly have any agency at all? Can she make any decisions for herself? Because like, who knows? Why would Kelly go out with Melvin Nerdley if she's interested in Zach? Like, what? There's just no accounting for it. It's just like, Zach has decided, so this is what Kelly is going to do, and I'm going to keep her over here in this box with Melvin Nerdley until I get tired of Jennifer, or until I can work it out so that we can have a polyamorous relationship and bring Kelly in. Like, who knows what Zach's plan actually is, but he needs to just get Kelly out of the way. And he actually finally talks to Kelly, and he gives like this bizarre story about, he makes this metaphor about squirrels and nuts, and how squirrels need nuts, and maybe we should see other people. We shouldn't be held. Like, it's a whole bunch of like Zach Morris bullshit. And Kelly's hurt, and she's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And she doesn't know what to do. Her friends are lying to her, because Kelly still doesn't know what's going on with Zach, about the new love of his life. So Kelly and Lisa are the only two that don't know about it at this point. So while Zach is still trying to get with Jennifer, he has to go to school every day and come up with reasons to have to go to the nurse's office. So he's constantly faking illnesses, and he's just doing a whole bunch of bullshit. So we get to we get to the where everything sort of comes together, and Jesse, Slater, and Lisa are at the max. Jesse and Slater know what's going on with Zach, so they're talking in code, but not good code. They're talking in code if they were like, it's like they're with a 4-year-old. Like Lisa is the 4-year-old that they're with. But they're talking in code, and they're using everybody's initials. So it's not super cryptic. It's like, if you know all these people, you know exactly who they're talking about. And Lisa, who is not stupid or a 4-year-old, figures it out pretty fast. And she's like, so Zach has a crush on the school nurse, and he's cheating on Kelly, and blah blah blah. And they look at her like they're shocked. And it's like, do you think Lisa's stupid? Like, why are you guys shocked that she figured out your not so cryptic message? Like, you're speaking right in front of her about two of her best friends. Like, stop it. And so Lisa's like, I'm telling. And Jesse tries to stop her. It's like, Jesse, you yourself said Zach was being a shitty person. Why are you trying to stop her from telling on him? Why are you trying to stop her from revealing his lies? Jessie, of course, is just she's a terrible friend to everybody but Zach. She's awful friend. That's why her and Zach are best friends, because she is like, she's not quite on Zach's level. Like, Jessie doesn't scheme the way Zach does, but she's his terrible companion. She's an awful companion for him to be with. He should be married. He and Jessie are soulmates. They're the worst. So, Jessie is like, oh my God, Lisa, you can't tell. I promised Zach that I wouldn't say anything. And Lisa's like, that's nice, but I didn't make any promises to anybody, and I'm telling on him. So I'm like, yes, that is my girl Lisa. That is why I love her. She's the best friend that any of you motherfuckers have, and you should be more appreciative of her. And then she told the school nurse. She tells Jennifer, not her best friend Kelly, who I thought she was going to go tell. She tells Jennifer. You don't know how upset I was, because I was so happy that Lisa was like, yeah, I'm tired of Zach's bullshit. I'm not going to let him do this to my best friend. But she goes to tell the school nurse, and it's like, what? Why are you telling the school nurse? And Slater and Jessie go with her, because they want to be there for Zach's downfall as well, because they're terrible friends. None of them are really friends, and they just want to see Zach get fucked up. So they tell the nurse, and Jennifer, instead of saying, why aren't you kids in class? Or why are you telling me about your childish bullshit? I don't care about your friend's crush on me. I'm an adult. She says, how could he treat his girlfriend this way? I have a plan. I'm going to show Zach how he should treat a woman, or something like that, she says. But she's really like, she's upset that he's treating his girlfriend, badly. And it's like, girl, I'm just like, in my head, I'm constantly like, be a fucking adult, and I have younger cousins, who, they're not in high school anymore. They're in their 20s now. But when they were in high school, I could not have cared less about their high school bullshit. Like, my cousin would tell me, they would tell me about stuff, and I'd be like, Oh, that's stupid. Like, stop it. Don't tell me about stuff. Just don't talk to me until you turn 21. I'm so disinterested in all your high school bullshit. I was disinterested in high school bullshit when I was in high school. I am definitely disinterested as an adult. So, this woman who is at her job, just getting involved with this stuff is like, it's weird and it's crazy and I don't like it. And um she's just Zach has overrated her and I don't like it. So she's like, I have a plan to get back at Zach. We'll show him. And Lisa, Jesse, and Slater are all happy. And Nurse Weird Teeth is, she's smiling because they're, conspiratorially, and she's like, oh yeah, I've got something for Zach. So Zach gets called to the nurse's office, and Jennifer is there with her giant shirt, and it's supposed to be sexy, and it's belted under her boobs, and she's wearing a mini skirt, and her hair is all put up in a bun, and she shakes her hair out, and Zach gets hard, and he's like a second away from like masturbating right there in front of her because she is just so hot. And but not really, because she's like, and she's being really aggressive, and she's pushing up on Zach, and she's got her boobs all on him, and she's like, oh Zach, you have a crush on me, right? And he's like, yes. And she's like, we can run away together. And Zach is starting to get nervous, and he's like, he can't put up with her aggressiveness. He's like, because he's 16 and she's an adult fucking woman, he's nervous and he doesn't know what to do now that she's actually showing interest in him. And she's like, I have a husband, and he's a pro wrestler, and he's a pro wrestler, but that's okay. We can still run away together. You can handle it, right, Zach? And he's trying to run out. And I'm like, isn't this like, this is like child abuse, right? Zach is still a child. She can't just push up on him like he's an adult. Like, this is all kinds, like, if this was a dude, and if the ROTC guy did this to Lisa, this would be a very special episode of Saved by the Bell about how you need to be careful with your male teachers or something like that. This is so out of control. And Zach is scared. He runs out of there, and when he runs out, Jennifer is like smiling, and she's like, oh yeah, I got him. And it's like, girl, you scared a 16-year-old boy with your sexuality. Like, stop. Get out of here with all that. Zach was about to cry. He was so like scared and nervous of her. It was like, oh my God. I mean, if Zach wasn't such a piece of shit, you would almost feel sorry for him. Well, not really, but whatever. Zach is Zach. So that's all over. And Zach is like put into his place. So he's like, he goes to Kelly's house, tail between his legs, like, so happy I had Kelly on the side waiting for me. And when he goes to knock on her door, Kelly is on a date with Melvin Nerdley. And guess what, y'all? Melvin Nerdley is not a nerd. Turns out, or he's not the stereotypical like Saved by the Bell, horn rim glasses, suspenders, and high water pants type nerd that's usually on Saved by the Bell. He is actually a good looking guy, but not really a good looking guy. He's who they want you to think is a good looking guy, but much like Zach could do better, and Kelly is better looking than Jennifer, Melvin Nerdley ain't got nothing on Zach. So Zach should have seen him and he should have just laughed in her and at his face and said, Kelly, stop this. Really, because Melvin Nerdly was just, I can't even remember what that guy looks like. He has brown hair and he's just generic as all generic can be. Like whatever. But Kelly, to her credit, is like, Zach, it's so embarrassing to have you here. I'm on a date with Melvin and I'm sorry, I can't talk to you right now. And he's like, and Melvin is actually walking out and he's leaving. And Zach is like, hey Kelly, wait, like, what are you doing? We were supposed to be going study. And she gives him his story back about the the squirrel and the nuts and all that. And, she tells him, you were right. We should be seeing other people. Melvin's a great guy. And she goes back in the house and Zach is like, oh shit, I fucked up. I thought I had all this on lock. But no. And Kelly has a younger brother and her younger brother is telling Zach to leave. And Zach is like, not wanting to put up with the little brother's bullshit. And the little brother is like, okay, I'm going to count to 3 and you better leave. And Zach is ignoring him and I think he knocks on the door again. And the little boy counts. And when he reaches 3, he's like, okay, I warned you. And he throws water all over Zach. And I was like, you know what? That's a good, Zach gets embarrassed and he loses both of his girls. Well, he loses the one girl he had and the adult woman that he never had a chance with scares him. So it's like, okay. I mean, Zach is never going to get the kind of punishments that I want him to get for his shittiness. But having the little boy throw water on him was like, okay. I'll accept it. So that is the end of From Nerds to Worse. And Zach will be back in the next episode treating his friends like shit. And I think he and Kelly are still together. Or they end up getting together. So this doesn't affect anything. Like, this should be like a warning to Kelly. Like, alarm sirens should be going off that Zach, you avoided a relationship with Zach Morris when you almost got with him. Like, you should run, girl. Don't walk, run away from him. But Kelly won't do that. She's actually going to end up married to him one day. So everybody, if you're religious, pray for Kelly because she needs it. Zach is a terrible person. He's probably Zach will definitely cheat on Kelly in the future, right? I mean, yeah, he would definitely cheat on her. Like I'm thinking, like, would Zach be the type of guy that got another woman pregnant and just had like secret kids out there? Or would he be the type of guy that got another woman pregnant and would want to pay for the abortion? I don't know. I was about to say I would ask that on Twitter, but that would be like, no, I'm not going to. I'm not even getting into that on Twitter. That would just be like, I don't even want all that in my mentions. So, that is it, you guys. The next episode is episode 17. So the penultimate episode of this season, is Breaking Up is Hard to Undo. So, and I'll be back later this week. This comes out on Wednesday. On Friday, my next episode is going to be episode 12 of Black Lightning. So yeah, you're not going to be able to live tweet with me, but anyway, if you want to live tweet with me and just connect with me on social media, you should follow me on Twitter. Follow the podcast on Twitter at TINerdPod, and follow me personally on Twitter at the Ms. Introvert. On Instagram, I'm at TheIntrovertedNerd. Like the Facebook page at facebook.com/TheIntrovertedNerd. And you can email me all your feedback, questions, comments, all that stuff at TheIntrovertedNerd@gmail.com. And that is it. So next week is breaking up is hard to undo, and the next episode is on Friday. So I will talk to you later, people.